Canelo. Man, yeah, we still are.
There we go.
Terence Crawford has been actively encouraging Canelo Alvarez to take on a blockbuster super fight between the two boxing icons. Despite Canelo's formidable strength and punching power, which might scare off other fighters, Crawford stays unfazed. In a recent conversation with TMZ Sports, Crawford confidently stated that he is certain he would win if he were to go head-to-head with the Mexican superstar in the ring.
For both of us, I believe.
Any doubt in your mind that you beat him?
Of course I beat him. It ain't no doubt in my mind that I won't beat anybody that.
Terence Crawford is steadfast in his attempts to persuade Canelo Alvarez to step into the ring for a high-stakes showdown between two boxing legends. Even with Canelo's reputation for immense strength and powerful punches, Crawford is undeterred. Speaking with TMZ Sports, he expressed complete confidence, firmly stating that he is sure he would come out on top if they ever faced each other in the ring.
Yeah, I can't rap. That's what I'm saying. So I gotta stick to what I know. I beat people up.
Oh, God.
I beat people up.
I see it as a legacy fight, Crawford said. I believe this is the biggest fight in boxing today, if it happens. While he recognizes the challenges posed by Canelo's size and power, Crawford remains unshaken. I've been fighting bigger guys my entire life, he told us, confidently guaranteeing a victory. Of course I'll beat him, the 41-year-old star declared. There's no doubt in my mind that I can beat anyone I step into the ring with.
I'm gonna start rapping, man, and then everybody gonna be saying, man, I'm being Roy Jones Jr. I'm coming out like Roy.
To come my way and me and him get in the ring, then it'll be an electrifying fight, you know.
Crawford isn't certain about the exact time or location for the potential fight, but he knows one thing for sure: he wants to deliver what the fans are asking for and believes Alvarez should feel the same. According to ESPN's Mike Coppinger, Alvarez had been considering a rematch with Dmitry Bivol in May, depending on whether Bivol defeats Artur Beterbiev for the undisputed light heavyweight title. However, with the two Russians set to clash again next month, Canelo may still be interested in facing the opponent who handed him a career-defining loss.
It won't be like any other fight that he's fought recently, and it'll be a well-fought fight.
Crawford hinted on X that Canelo Alvarez is his next target following his Saturday bout. Turki Alik, chairman of Saudi Arabia's General Entertainment Authority, told Mike Coppinger in August that he's working with Crawford to make the fight happen. "I'll offer Canelo what I believe is a fair price," Alik said. "If he accepts, he'll deal directly with me to finalize the deal, no intermediaries. I've guaranteed Crawford a big fight. I want Canelo for Crawford, and Crawford wants Canelo. But if Canelo's financial demands are unreasonable, I'll still guarantee Crawford any fight he wants." Crawford extended his undefeated record to 41-0 with a victory over the Uzani challenger in a super welterweight championship match, claiming the WBA super welterweight title. He is 11-0 by 2 rounds and leads 2 out of 3.
I don't know, someone told me to study Canelo, study Crawford. Crawford about to beat the shit out of Canelo Alvarez.
Since his loss in the light heavyweight division to the skilled Russian fighter, Alvarez has bounced back with 5 consecutive wins. However, critics argue that he has been facing easier opponents to pad his record. The 34-year-old boasts an impressive 2 February 62 record across 66 career bouts, but many in the boxing world believe that Crawford wouldn't stand a chance due to the difference in weight classes. "It's so funny because I was watching this fight," said one observer. A notable exception, however, is two-weight world champion turned boxing analyst Tim Bradley. Speaking on his YouTube channel, Bradley shared that after carefully studying both fighters, he now predicts a dominant victory for Crawford.
Right now, he about to beat the brakes off of Canelo Alvarez. Yes, he is. Number 2, Devin Haney.
"I woke up at 3 a.m. with a feeling I had to study Canelo and Crawford," said Tim Bradley. "After watching both, I'm telling you, Crawford is going to dominate Canelo Alvarez. He's about to dismantle him completely." A victory for Crawford would be a monumental achievement, further enhancing his already stellar resume, which includes becoming the undisputed champion in both the super lightweight and welterweight divisions.
You want to get back, man, go back to your roots, bro. Go back to where you started, bro. Where'd you start? You started in Mexico, man. Go back, get one of those guys out of there.
Tim Bradley didn't hold back this week, taking to his YouTube channel to call out Canelo Alvarez. The former boxing champ urged the unified super middleweight king to stop avoiding Terence Crawford and give the fans the fight they've been waiting for. Bradley's message was clear: fans want this fight, and Crawford deserves his shot at greatness. But does this matchup make sense? According to Bradley, it absolutely does. You already ran away from the Benavidez fight, Bradley said. Make the fight with Crawford, that's the fight everyone wants to see. He also dismissed the notion that Canelo's size and power would be too much for Crawford. Bradley pointed out that Canelo started his career at 147 pounds and is the same height as Crawford, proving that the two fighters are more evenly matched than critics suggest.
He just told me Crawford beats Canelo.
Crawford beats anybody he steps in the ring with.
You're walking around Mexico like you don't care what people think about avoiding this fight, said Bradley. Make the fight with Crawford, it's the fight everyone wants to see, and it gives Crawford the chance to prove his greatness to you and the world. Bradley's bold statement isn't far off the mark. This matchup would undoubtedly generate massive excitement. Canelo, with his stellar 2nd of February '62 record, remains boxing's biggest star, while Crawford, undefeated at 41-0, has long been hailed as one of the sport's most technically skilled fighters. However, there's a catch: Crawford's last fight against Israel Move didn't exactly inspire confidence. While he secured the win, it was far from a dominant performance. Crawford absorbed too many right hands and appeared less sharp than his usual self.
He don't go, no one beats him. No one beats Terence Crawford.
And his athleticism and defense to get out of the way.
For Canelo, there's not much incentive to take this fight. He's already proven himself against bigger, stronger opponents, and Crawford hasn't yet done the necessary groundwork to earn a shot at the 168 pounds division. Critics argue that if Crawford truly wanted this fight, he should first face fighters like David Benavidez or Artur Beterbiev to show he can compete with the bigger names in the division. Boxing fans are divided on the potential matchup. On one hand, the idea of a skill versus power showdown between two generational talents is exciting. On the other hand, Crawford's age, 37, and lack of experience at higher weights make this fight seem like it could be one-sided.
He should be able to beat Canelo, man. Slow plodding forward, good jab, got good quickness, throws a lot of hooks. Crawford just get away from all of those, get underneath them, bro.
At the end of the day, Canelo doesn't need this fight. He's already cemented his place as one of the greatest, with plenty of other options available to him. As for Crawford, if he truly wants to face Canelo in the ring, he may need to take the tougher path to prove he deserves it. Tim Bradley can continue advocating for the fight, but for now, it feels more like a dream than a reality. Crawford has achieved a lot in boxing, but a victory over Canelo would be his greatest accomplishment yet. Perhaps it's time for him to move forward, choosing his next step with a clear vision, possibly with guidance from someone like Prince to lead the way.
This is real simple. It's real simple. You just got to know boxing in order for you to be able to say that. Hey, Terry's going to get in there and do what he needs to do. Perform.
The super middleweight world champion has only suffered 2 defeats, one to Dmitry Bivol and another to Floyd Mayweather. If a fight between Crawford and Canelo were to happen, McIntyre plans to closely analyze the Bivol fight. If the fight ever materializes, that's the one I'd go back and study, McIntyre said regarding Canelo vs Bivol during an appearance on the Luke Thomas YouTube channel. He made Canelo move his feet.
Heard Turkey Ali Sheikh say that he sent you an offer, possibly to face Crawford for coming up here. Is that true, or what happened with that?
No, I don't have any offer. And
I'd also look at Mayweather vs Canelo, said WB, as they believe Crawford is now on the shortlist for a potential fight with the Mexican superstar, following months of media attention on the potential clash. World Boxing News also reports that Turkey Ali Sheikh could sponsor the event as part of the Riyadh Season USA, which would be held in Las Vegas. If confirmed, this super fight would mark Ali Sheikh's first involvement in a headline event in what true boxing fans consider the sport's capital. Alois Schick had initially prioritized a Canelo vs Crawford fight for 2024 after working with Crawford for his August bout against Israel moved. However, following some frustration, the Saudi chairman reassessed his approach, recognizing the critical nature of the situation.
And hardcore boxing fans, they know Crawford could beat Canelo just like they knew Will was going to beat Smith. It's real simple. Real simple. You just gotta...
I just had an important meeting with my team, planning the upcoming fights for 2024 and 2025, Alex said. I decided to disregard the Canelo fight because I don't want it anymore. Instead, I'll focus on the US market with bigger fights, especially for the legendary Crawford, he added, sliding a red plastic card across the table and gesturing to the March crowd. However, that stance has since changed as talk of Canelo vs Crawford gains momentum once again. Crawford shared with former opponent Sean Porter that he wasn't impressed with Canelo's attitude toward the fight. I heard Canelo say I'm easy work. If I were easy work, why wouldn't you take all that money Alec is offering you? Crawford told the Porterway podcast.
Any offer, and look, I'm 100% focused on this fight, and then we'll see.
But still, he wants $200 million for Benavidez and $150 million for me, so that tells me right there, I'm a threat, Crawford said. I'm a threat to him and his legacy. Sparring partner Kenneth Sims Jr. spoke directly to WBN about the possibility of Crawford facing Canelo. Sims believes the former welterweight king has what it takes to win. I'd like to see the Canelo fight, Sims said. I've seen Crawford in the ring with much bigger guys, so I think he can pull it off.
For possibly face Crawford for coming up here, is that true, or what happened with that?
No, I don't have any offer, and look,
Currently, Crawford is the top contender on a short list, with fighters like Jermell Charlo and Chris Eubank Jr. unlikely to get the call at this stage. A rematch with Dmitry Bivol could also be an option if the light heavyweight manages to avenge his loss to Artur Beterbiev and claim all the belts at 175. However, Canelo typically has his Cinco de Mayo plan set by then. If Bivol wins the Beterbiev rematch on February 22nd, the super middleweight champion may revisit a potential Bivol revenge mission in September. Canelo Alvarez has indirectly confirmed his willingness to face Terence Crawford, creating significant buzz around what could become one of the most highly anticipated fights in boxing today.
and focus on this fight, and then we'll see.
Yeah, the fight's going on as well with UFC, September 14th. How do you feel about that? Like that happened the last time we faced...
This potential showdown would feature two elite fighters at the peak of their careers. The clash between Canelo and Crawford promises to be monumental. Canelo, the undisputed super middleweight champion, has dominated his division with a combination of power and precision. Crawford, widely regarded as one of the most skilled fighters of this era, brings a mix of technical brilliance and intelligent strategy that has propelled him to the top of the pound-for-pound rankings. While Canelo is known for his speed and power, his reign as a world champion could last for decades. The contrast between Canelo and Crawford's styles makes for an exciting matchup. In an interview with Sway's Universe, Canelo Alvarez expressed his openness to the fight. "I'm in, why not?" Canelo said. "Don't get me wrong, he's a great fighter, but for me, in my weight class, it's an easy fight, easy money. If the money is right, I'm in. I don't like to fight guys like Crawford, he moves a lot, and the fight isn't that exciting. But I saw in his last fight he didn't move that much, so if the money is right, I'm in. Right now, there are weight classes for a reason."
And hardcore boxing fans, they know Crawford can beat Canelo just like they knew Will was going to beat Smith. It's real simple. Real simple. You just got to know boxing in order for you to be able to say it.
This statement marks a significant shift for Canelo, who had previously expressed hesitation about facing Crawford, citing the lack of credit he would receive for defeating a smaller opponent. Meanwhile, Crawford has remained persistent in pursuing the matchup, willing to move up 2 weight classes to prove his dominance. Crawford has not backed down in his pursuit of the fight, fully aware of the challenge ahead. He understands the physical disadvantage he would face against Canelo, acknowledging that size will play a key role. However, he remains confident in his ability to overcome this challenge and impose his boxing style. Some analysts have expressed doubts about Crawford's ability to compete effectively at super middleweight. This skepticism is partly due to his most recent fight, a points victory over Ismail Madrimov at super welterweight, which lacked the dominant performance many had expected. Despite this, Crawford's determination to prove himself at a higher weight class is clear.
Stuff overseas, Canelo versus Crawford negotiations, so-called behind the scenes. I want to talk about, one, is Crawford ready for that fight? Two, how do you see that fight playing out? And three, is this a reality?
Despite these concerns, the potential bout between Canelo and Crawford has captured the imagination of boxing fans. The combination of power, speed, technique, and charisma from both fighters sets the stage for what could be an unforgettable spectacle. While some believe the recent press conference was a significant step toward making the matchup a reality, it still seems destined to remain, for now, just a dream. Matchroom's Eddie Hearn, who has had a close association with the Mexican superstar, recently shared insights from his conversation with Canelo about the potential fight. Unfortunately, the outlook isn't promising. If you recall, Saudi royal Turki Alec was also pushing for the fight during Crawford's bout with Ismail Madrimov last year. Alec had even asked Hearn to reach out to Canelo's team to make the fight happen. However, the fight never materialized, and the conversation about it has slowly started to fade.
I think his kind of feeling is, when I beat Crawford, everyone's going to say I've beaten a 154 pounder. And he also, I think at his age as well, I don't think he wants to be fighting guys that are just moving all the time, and he wants people to come to fight.
To put the final nail in the coffin, Hearn appeared in an interview with Fight Hype, where he was asked about the potential fight. "I'll be honest, I'd be very surprised if that fight happens," Hearn revealed. "I think His Excellency has been pushing for it, but it didn't seem like it was something Canelo was really up for, to be honest." Hearn recalled a previous conversation with Canelo, explaining, "I think his feeling is that when I beat Crawford, everyone will just say I beat a 154 pounder. He also mentioned that at this stage in Canelo's career, he's focused on fighting opponents who will come forward and engage, something Canelo believes Crawford won't do.
I think that Crawford could beat him, because Crawford is a big 147 fighter and is strong as well, which a lot of people don't give him the credit for. I think that fight, if it does happen, as long as Crawford stays away and just boxes."
Notably, Crawford is moving up several weight classes for this potential matchup, which puts him at a disadvantage in the fight. Even if he makes it to 165 pounds, Canelo would still be the bigger man, so Crawford would need to stay agile on his feet to secure the win. Hearn shares this view, stating, "Crawford can't really come to fight in this matchup because he's at a massive size disadvantage," he told Fight Hype, reiterating his belief in the challenge Crawford faces.
He should be able to beat Canelo, man.
I'm skeptical about the fight. I will back Crawford because, again, I think that he's better.
"I think his feeling is that when I beat Crawford, everyone's going to say I beat a 154 pounder, Hearn said. Also, I think at his age, he doesn't want to be fighting guys who are just moving all the time. He wants people to come to fight. I don't think that fight will happen." Hearn reflected on the grim reality surrounding the potential matchup. Despite this, people continue to share their opinions on who might come out on top. Meanwhile, someone who has fought both Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford has offered his thoughts on why the two haven't faced each other yet. Former unified super lightweight champion Amir Khan moved up 2 weight classes to face Canelo Alvarez in 2016 at a catchweight of 155 pounds. The fight ended in the 6th round when Canelo landed a powerful right hand that sent Khan crashing to the canvas. Khan also faced Terence Crawford in 2019, and after being dropped in the 1st round, the Englishman lost by technical knockout in the 6th.
And, he's a friend of mine, but that's a dangerous fight, man. That's an extremely dangerous fight, dude. And Canelo lands a bomb, one bomb.
When asked why the fight hasn't happened yet, Khan stated, "It seems to me that Canelo is scared and doesn't want to fight him." All these excuses he's coming up with. Timothy Bradley, a 3-time boxing champion who won a belt from Manny Pacquiao, predicts that Terence Crawford will defeat Canelo Alvarez despite being the smaller fighter. He points out that Canelo hasn't scored a knockout since 2021. The two have been tipped to meet in the ring since the end of 2024, but so far, nothing has come to fruition. Still, there's significant excitement surrounding the possibility of the unified super middleweight champion facing the light middleweight title holder.
Bro, on Crawford. It might not be good. It might not be good. I don't know, man. It's just a dangerous ass fight.
The fight would feature an intelligent and powerful switch-hitting brawler in Crawford against a relentless pressure fighter in Canelo, who is known for his durability, heavy punches, and exceptional counterpunching defense. However, on the subject of Canelo's power, Bradley believes it has diminished enough that it won't pose a significant threat to Crawford, even if he has to move up 2 divisions to make the super middleweight fight happen. Everyone keeps talking about the weight, saying he's going to knock him out, Bradley said on his YouTube channel. When was the last time Canelo knocked someone out? You all can quit with that "he's going to knock Crawford out" talk. Come on, man. Didn't we just see someone like Alexander Usyk fight Tyson Fury, who was, quote-unquote, 50 pounds heavier? Bradley continues to challenge the narrative, arguing that size and knockout power aren't as decisive as some might think.
Crawford has the balls to be able to do what he needs to do. Crawford is a dog. I'm not gonna say a lion. He's a dog. Cause them lions died out. Canelo is so predictable, dude. You know a hook is coming. You know when the right hand is coming. You know he's going down to the body. He gives it away.
Canelo is the same height as Crawford. He's not a natural 168-pounder, Bradley said. He's a great fighter, absolutely, but so is Crawford. Great fighters know how to figure it out. While it's true that Canelo's last stoppage came against Caleb Plant at the MGM Grand in November 2021, Bradley overlooks the fact that the Mexican star has faced and defeated reputable names like Gennady Golovkin, John Ryder, Jermall Charlo, Jamie Munguia, and Edgar Berlanga, proving his dominance across multiple bouts.